Yeah.
Okay.
Goes?
Yeah.
Okay. So today we finished Torah Bab, and we're not. I'm not sure which one I want to take, which Torah the other one I want to take. But so I opened the book only to sit with the book open, but it opened on a very good place. It's one of my ideas. Maybe we'll go for it.
Okay.
But anyway, we start speaking on the last shiur about the day after Yom Kippur and coming towards Sukkot. And we did it like this, you know. We did it quick because it was after the shiur, so we did it quick. So I would like to say it again.
Okay.
And on Sukkot we had two questions. One, that when we learn the books of Rabbi Nachman, we see that many times he speaks very highly about himself. And it's a big question, you know. How come you're supposed to be an anav, yeah? Humble. And you're speaking I am, and I am, and I am, and I am, you know. And many big things that you say about yourself, and how do you do it? And the second question we had was that Rabbi Nachman says, "Ani pele v'nishmati pele, chidush kamoni lo haya me'olam." How do you say pele?
Wonder.
Wonder, yeah. I'm a wonder man. Yeah, I am wonder. My soul is wonder, and chidush kamoni, something new like me was never in the world, and is not going to be in the world. You know. So what is this? Okay, wonder. But what is the chidush? What is the point that he says about himself? I am a chidush. I am something new that was never in the world. And we have a klal, a rule that when we learn anything from Rabbi Nachman, that everything must have something to do with me. Because whatever he says, even when it looks very high Madrigas, it's supposed to be also for me, for the low Madrigas. Yeah? Excuse me for saying so.
It's okay.
But for the lower Madriga, oh yeah, it's true. Okay. So this is where two questions. So we start in the Sukkah of the Mechutanim, and we asked this question, and we answered some answers, and then we called friends that we have a friend, a rabbi. He's a genius. He has a computer in his head. So we called him also. So he says to us, that's exactly the question we have here in my sukkah. And we don't really know the answer. Maybe if you come, so together we'll find the answer. So I said, to go all the way to Jerusalem for a question, you know. It doesn't go. So he
Kimitzion Tetzektor.
What?
Kimitzion Tetzektor.
Yeah, we had an argument. If they're supposed to come to us, or we're supposed to come to them. But that's what he said.
Yeah.
You know? Kimitzion Tetzektor. You have to come to Jerusalem, not we have to come to the Jewish. But then he told us also a story. There's a story that the Hasidim of Rabbi Nachman, at the time that Rabbi Nachman was alive, they lived in Dashi, a small city called Dashi. And they were sitting together and learning, and they had a very high feeling. you know, when they were learning. But then it was Friday, and it came for the time that they have to daven, Mincha and Maariv. So they stopped the shiur, and they daven Mincha and Maariv. And then they told this story to Rabbeinu, because they wanted to tell him that they learned his Torah and how good it was. And so he said, the silly Hasidim of Dashiv, you don't know the halacha. The halacha is, when you sit and learn Torah, and the time of tefillah is coming, okay, you take a map over the table, you daven, and then you keep on learning. You don't stop learning and, okay, we have enough, goodbye. So he said it about us, you know, okay, you have a question, you cannot be silly, and okay, I have a nice question, it's a good question, I tried my best, and goodbye, you know, you have to come over and we have to find the question. Anyway, we finished eating, we said Birkat Hamazon, we got on the car, and we went to Jerusalem. We sat there some hours, 4 or 5 hours, you know, we spoke about this thing. So, it's all really, it's all one, you know, what we said, we started from the day after Yom Kippur. The day after Yom Kippur is called the name of Hashem, Shem Hashem, the name of Hashem. Why? Because the name of Hashem is revealing the day after Yom Kippur. Why? Because now Hashem forgive for all the avoidance and the chatayim and the pshayim that we, all the sins and all the bad things that we did. Now Hashem says, Machalti, you are a new man, new person. You can start from the beginning. And the first day after Yom Kippur, okay, is the first day that you start counting the new pshayim and avanot and chatayim that you're preparing for Yom Kippur Haba, because otherwise how are you going to come to Yom Kippur if everything is okay? Yeah, you have to come with something in your hand, you know, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, and I was okay.
First of Sukkot. No?
Yeah, it's the first day of Sukkot. That's why it's called Rishon. Yeah. So this is we finished. There's 4 days that we don't count their bonus, but we counting. Hashem is not counting, but we know what we do.
Maybe we know. We don't know. Maybe we know. We don't
Part
know.
of them we know. We know. Anyway, this is why this. Okay, so he had a mechila. We had a mechila. So why is it's revealing the name of Hashem? So we said because in each one of us we have a part of Hashem. When Hashem gave us the neshama, there's three partners in creating the man. A man, a woman, and Hashem. The man gives the white part of the baby, yeah. The woman gives the red part of the baby, and Hashem gives them the neshama. Yeah. What is the white part? Is the bones, is the teeth, is the white in the eye. The color, it depends what color of skin you have, you know, it's that's what he gives, and the woman gives the blood, the flesh, the basar, and Hashem gives the neshama. So in each one of us we have a part of Hashem, and the name of each one of us is the name of the neshama. When do you come to the real madrega of your name? When you know your bad name. Each one of us has a good name, which is Eliezer, Ehud, Chaim, Moshe, Yudit, Chaya. Yeah, that's the good name that we have, that our parents gave us by Ruach HaKodesh. And the other name is the hidden name. That from this hidden name we have the power to do all the bad things. Like David HaMelech, his hidden name was Goliath.
Really?
Yeah. And when he killed Goliath, then he came to the completion of his name. Now he's pure. And then he said, Libi Chalal B'Krubi, my heart is clean, it's only for Hashem. And this is when after 120 and so on, when you go and you lie on your back, Baruch Hashem, everything is over. You know? I'm going to Gan Eden, and then these two angels, they come to you and they ask you, excuse me, what's your name? You have to remember your name. And then most of the people know the hidden name, the bad name that they have. Then they find out what was the bad name. But we see each one. One is have a bad temper, you know, he gets furious on everything. Like this guy we went over. He's amazing genius, you know, really amazing. When he was sick, you know, one time he was sick, he learned 90 books laying on his back when he was sick. He remembers everything, word by word. Yeah?
Amazing.
It's amazing. You know, it's just amazing. But when you touch him, wow, you know, pow, you know, he's fire. You know, he comes fire and you can't stop him, you know. And if you want to be his Talmid, you have to be prepared to, you know, to get
Touch.
heavy. It's not patches. You get on your head. Wow, very heavy. Very. You don't understand. You don't understand anything. You don't know anything. You are nothing. You are blah 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 blah. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And you have to just sit there and wait until it goes over. You know? Okay. Now, what's the next step? Okay, I understood. I did a bad mistake, but I didn't understand what he was speaking about. But now, tell me what is the answer. And then he tells you what's the answer. So this is the hidden part. It's not supposed to be, you know, the big tzaddik is not supposed to be, you know, like go on fire on you. You didn't understand, so we'll say again. You didn't understand, he will say again. I had this kind of rabbi also, you know, that he could say again and again and again and again and again and again and again until you get it. But he had something else, you know, that I didn't see, or I couldn't see on him. And each one of us knows himself and knows the hidden bad things that comes out, which makes him go against Hashem. So this is our name. We have to come to the completion of our name to understand what is the bad side. But on Yom Kippur, Hashem forgives us for all what we did coming out from this bad side. So this bad side is very low now. And my real name, my holy name, is revealed. And Hashem is part of this holy name. So the name of Hashem is revealed in the world, in all the names that He has. Like He says, the Torah, all the Torah is name of Hashem. It has stories, it has halachas, but everything is the name of Hashem. And Kutsa B'richu, Oraita, and Israel, Chadinun, Hashem, the Torah, and Israel is one. So when Israel is clean, is the revelation, how do you say? Revelation, yeah. Revelation, not the revolution.
No, revolution.
Revelation. Revelation of Hashem. Yeah. Okay, so this is what happens the day after Yom Kippur. And then we go out to the sukkah. We start building the sukkah. Why we start building the sukkah? Now you have a chance to look at yourself from outside. From the sukkah, look at yourself, how do you behave in your house, in your business, in your daily life, and find out where is the bad point that you can fix. No, yes, I'm not a genius. It's not my my good point, being a genius. You know, I have another good point. So when the genius speak, you know, most of the time I'm quiet, and many times I have a question: is it right that I'm quiet? You know, because what I know, I already know. Why should I tell them? They probably know twice as much for them. What they know, what they speak, a lot of it I don't know. So it's better for me to be quiet. Or maybe, you know, if I will say my point, they will see it from another angle, you know, from another point of view. So maybe it will help them. So many times I stand in this question: should I say it or shouldn't I say it? You know, what is that? Okay, should I say or shouldn't I say it? Why do I think it's how do you say low, how do you say, low
self-esteem?
Yeah.
Low self-esteem.
Yeah. Is it low self-esteem, or is it the truth that this is how should I be? What is happening with me now, really? You know, I'm doing what is the truth and what is the right thing to do, or it's because I don't want to come out and everybody will tell me, you speak nonsense, yeah? You don't know, or he will come out on me, you know, and go, and I learned with him for a couple of months, you know, when we lived close, we were neighbors, you know, we went together. It was hard work, you know, I learned a lot, yeah, but it was very hard work to do it. So why I'm doing it, you know? This is what you have to do on Sukkot, you know? When you come out, I'm clean after Yom Kippur, I'm going out of my house, now I look at myself from outside. It's not I'm looking inside. When I'm looking on myself from inside, it's all mixed up, you know, with my feelings, with my thoughts at the time. But when I'm outside, like I look at the movie, yeah, you look at the movie, you see yourself, you see the good things and you see the bad things, because you see it from outside. You're not involved already with what is going on at the time. Yeah?
Different perspective.
Yeah. And when you practice this on Sukkot, you can do it all year, hopefully. Yeah, but you can do it all year. Okay. Then we have to know what we see now on after Yom Kippur and in Sukkot, what I see now about myself, that I'm so good and I'm the best in this time, because you know I'm not in such a pressure like a normal day. I don't have to go to work and see my kids and then I have some quiet time. This is the real me. This is who I am really. I am good. This is who I am. And whatever happens later, you know, when I go to work, I'm a doctor, I'm a carpenter, it's not who I am. It's what I do for my living, to keep my body, and my body should keep my soul. That's what I see now after Yom Kippur. Okay, so from this point we come to the question of how come Rabbi Nachman gives himself so many te'arim.
Accolades.
Wow, accolades. Huh? It's a good
word.
It's a good word. Yeah. Accolades. What's another word for
Titles?
Titles. Yeah, titles. Yeah, this is I know. Okay. How come he says about himself, I'm the only one? I'm the only one that can give you the tikkun of your soul. Anyone else that says and can give you the tikkun, if you want to say it softly, you say he's wrong. If you want to say he's a liar. You know, no one can give you the tikkun for your soul, only me. I'm the only one that can give you the tikkun for your soul. So, there's a muscle like this, you know, you stand in the queue in, let's say, in the airport. The airport, everybody is very important and they come with good clothes and they try to behave good. And everybody stands at the queue. Now, you know, at the time of the Chagim, the holidays, it's all packed up, and then there's a guy come running, you know, move away, I'm a doctor, move away, I'm a doctor. What's going? Because you're the doctor, you don't have to stand at the queue. Says, no, there's a guy in danger over there. I'm running to help him. Ah, okay. Yeah? But before you know there's a guy in danger, he says, so what if you're a doctor? I'm a doctor, physics doctor, I'm a mathematics, whatever. Well, no, I'm going to save lives. Ah, okay, you can go. So he's shouting, I am a doctor, I'm a doctor, I'm a doctor. On the door, yeah? He writes, here lives Dr. Cohen. Someone that is a history, doctor for history. He doesn't write on his door, here lives Dr. Cohen. Mishpachat Cohen, Cohen family. But he writes doctor. Why? Because if you need help, you know where to go. So Rabbi Nachman says to you, you know, I am the doctor. And if you have to go somewhere, you have to come to me. And the other places, there's no medicines over there. It's only here that you have the medicine. So it's a good mashal, you know, to understand it. And then if you want to go and try and test it, so you have to at least have some work on the medicine, which is now we have the medicine of the books, we have the medicine of the Tzion, the kever, the place where he was buried, and we have students, yeah, that know the Torah, that know the Torah, that the Kabbalah, yeah, what was given from each generation, yeah. So then we come to the other, what is the chidush? What do you mean when you say, Rabbi Nachman says about himself, I am a chidush kamoni lo haya me'olam, and a chidush like I am was never in the world. So I start the question, I think I told you one time, I start the question from Moshe Rabbeinu. What is the chidush of Moshe Rabbeinu? Because when Adam Rishon was created, he had the best teacher. Hashem was his teacher. Yeah? And he taught him all the Torah. And he gave it over to Noach. And Noach gave all the lessons to Shem and Ever. Yeah? And Shem and Ever gave all the lessons to Abraham Avinu. And Abraham Avinu kept all the Torah. Even what we learn now from Chachamim, from our sages, you know, he knew it already and he gave it everything. He kept Shabbos with all the little small details. Yeah? And Yitzchak Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu, and all the rest of the Shvatim, and Shevet Levi in Mitzrayim, and they all knew that there is a Torah, and they learned Torah, and they knew everything. So, Moshe Rabbeinu, what chidush did he make? What is the chidush? The chidush is that Moshe Rabbeinu, it says, horid et Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu horid et Torah. He brought the Torah from the sky to the land. At the times before Moshe Rabbeinu, the special ones, the tzaddikim that were in the sky, that their heart and brain were in the sky, they could hold the Torah. But the simple people couldn't hold the Torah. Like most of Israel in Egypt. What was the reason that they had a chance to go out of it? Because they didn't change the language, they didn't change the names, and they didn't change the clothes. That's the schus that they had. Yeah? They didn't have the schut of learning Torah. Only Shevet Levi had this schut. But most of Israel didn't have the schut. Why? Because they were not so high in the mind and in the heart. After Moshe Rabbeinu gave us the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu made a change. Made a change in the way that the spiritual building of the Israeli nation is built. In Ma'amad Har Sinai, they came back to the Madrega of Adam Rishon. They were like after Yom Kippur, clean, yeah, and they took off the dirt from the Nachash, from the first Avera that they ate from the eggs, and they could receive the Torah in their heart. So then, after they made the Egel, they went to do Avodah Zarah, the worst thing that's possible to do. A minute later, they could be tzaddikim again. They could make mitzvahs again. And this is what Moshe Rabbeinu gave. You can make mistakes, you can make an avera, you can make a sin even with knowing I'm going now against Hashem Yitbarach. I know that I'm going now against Hashem Yitbarach. I don't have the power to hold myself. It's wrong. I know it's wrong. I don't have the power to fight. Okay, what do I do a minute later?
Sure.
Another mistake? Another sin? What do I do a minute later? I have the power a minute later to do good. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu gave us. And this is the chidush of Moshe Rabbeinu, that Avraham Avinu didn't have the power to give it to his students. Because Avraham Avinu made gerim. Yeah? He brought people close to what was then Judaism. Where are they? They went away. Yitzchak Avinu did the same. Where are they? They went away. Yaakov Avinu did the same. Where are all the people? They went away. Only after Yaakov Avinu had his 12 tribes, and then they had kids, and they become Am Yisrael, and got the Torah. Only then it was now. All these people, they are connected to Torah for all the lives and for all the generation after the lives. And they can be a guy that he doesn't know anything from Judaism, and he comes back, he says, okay, now I want to be okay. Okay, come on. No, he comes to the shiur, he sits in front of the Rav, they learn, he asks him a question, the Rav doesn't have the answer, he says, excuse me, I don't know the answer. How come he had this question? Because his soul is connected to the Torah. Even if even if him in himself, he doesn't know that he's connected. His soul is connected. And the moment he comes close to the Torah, he has the connection with the Torah, he has connection with the mitzvahs, he has connection with Hashem Yitbarach, that's it. He's there. This is the Chidush of Moshe Rabbeinu. This Chidush was forgotten in the time. And then came Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and revealed the Zohar. Everybody knew the Zohar. The stories of the Tanaim, and before the Tanaim, they learned the secret of the Torah. The big rabbi, one generation before Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that Rabbi Shimon went to learn from him, was Rabbi Nechonia ben Hakana. Yeah, he was the biggest rabbi of Kabbalah. But he didn't have the permission to reveal the secrets to all the world. Rabbi Shimon got the permission to reveal it. It wasn't for nothing. He had to do something to get the permission for it, but so he did it. And then Rabbeinu Ali, and then the Baal Shem Tov, and then Rabbi Nachman came. What is the Chidush? The Chidush is I give you a heart. Like they say, Breslev, is the letters of Lev Basar. I give you a heart of flesh, not a Lev Eben, a heart of flesh. You know, there's a man that can sit and learn and know all the Torah, but it doesn't go into his heart. If it doesn't go into your heart, you don't do anything. You do only when it goes into your heart. If you only know it, it's very hard to by secher, to do by secher, it's very hard. Very hard. You know, you teach a kid, don't cross the street. It's dangerous. Don't cross. It's dangerous. Until it comes into his heart, he understands already. It comes into his heart. You know, okay. Now this point is called understanding, and this is the chidush of Rabbi Nachman Breslev. He said, "What is the difference between me and you? The difference is if I will go against the Torah 800 times, I do all the sins that it is written not to do. 1 minute later, I go and daven mincha with all the power. And when I make a sin, you know, I went to a restaurant, and it was written that it's kosher, but I knew it's good food. I went in and had a very good time. After I go out, you know, I think, wow, was right, you know, I just didn't do it, and the wine was not what kind of kosher it had. And a friend of mine, you know, Breslev Chosn, Elka, let's go down Mincha, there's Mincha now in Breslev, let's go. And oh, you know, why? Because now I did something wrong, you know. Now to go and down Mincha, you know, in Breslev, with all the fire and the lights and everything else. No, it's, leave me alone. The Rebbe says, no, you go on. You go on and nothing happens. What is the chidush now? Is the time. הקדוש ברוך הוא מחדש בטובו בכל יום תמיד מעשה בראשית. Every day Hashem has to create the world again. And every minute has to live every minute. By the Kabbalah, he says the hour, you count the hour to 1,080 parts. Not like we count the hour to 60 minutes, and the minute to 60 seconds. But they count the hour to 1,080 parts. I don't know. They didn't call this part, they didn't give him a name. Tatav Chalakim. And in every part of this hour, there's a different name of Hashem that gives it this time the life. Yeah, one time is Yud, Yud Ke, Vav Ke, Yud, and then Hey, and then the Vav, and then the Hey again. One time is Yud Aleph, Pei. Every time there's every minute, every part of a second, there's another name that gives it its life. And so every minute is a new life. Every minute is a new time. What I did is gone. There's nothing there. It's new. Now I'm anew. And if we look on nature, we see that it goes the same. You know, it looks. I'm the same guy. You know, I'm the same guy. I live here in this world for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years. I'm the same. I remember myself since I was a kid. But all your cells will change many times. The cells are changing all the time. You know, when you look on your tefillin, you see like dust. What is this dust? It's me. It's part of me that going away, you know, changing. It's changing all the time. I'm changing all the time. So if this physically I'm changing, so for sure spiritually I'm changing all the time. But I don't feel it, I don't see the change, because I keep my heart locked. I look at the world looks like it. Every day is the same day, every people that I know, they're the same, they don't change, nothing. They don't change not because they cannot change. They don't change because they didn't put into the heart what they learned today. What is new today? What is new? What did I learn? Something new. I learned that every day is new. I learned that Moshe Rabbeinu gave me a new heart. I learned that Rabbi Nachman gave me the chance to renew my heart every minute. What do you do with this? Why Rabbi Natan managed to write all these books? Out of these books, out of this book, he wrote 8 books. And he said, if you wanted to write a book about Shlom Bayit, you have to write another 8 books like this. So, why? Because the difference was when Rabbi Nachman gave a shiur, when he spoke, so all the Talmidim said, wow, it's amazing, wow, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, wow, it's amazing. And they spoke after this for a while, and they went to sleep. And they got up, and they went to daven, and they davened with all the powers, and the kavanas, and whatever. And they kept on going. They wrote it, and they spoke about it again tomorrow. Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Natan, after the shiur of Rabbi Nachman, he went out to the field and shouted, you know, wow, I learned such big things. I want to learn. I want to hold them. I want to listen. I want to be like this. I want to change. And he shouted like this all night. בברסלב בוער אש, הבער אותו בליבי. In Breslev, there's a fire burning in Breslev. I want it burning in my heart. That's how he became Rabbi Natan. Because he wanted this fire to burn in him. So that's enough. You know, I don't have to work, you know. I will check every word when I daven. I will learn very hard. I will try to do the mitzvahs, kibud av v'em better. I will try to be better with my wife. I don't need all this work. I need one word. Open my heart. That's all I need. If my heart is open, I live with Hashem. If I live with Hashem, anyway, when I daven, I will daven good. When I learn, I will learn good. When I behave, not only to my wife and kids, to anyone else, I will behave like a human being. When I will feel that something comes out of me, you know, I will, no, it's not right. I have a different fire. It's not the right fire. I have a different fire inside of me. It's different. It's written in the, you know, in the Barad, in the 10 Makot, the 10 Commandments, 10 Makot. Yeah, Makot. What do you say for Makot?
Plagues.
Huh?
Plagues. The 10 plagues.
Plagues. Okay. So in the Barad. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes and tells the Egyptians, their power, you know, is going to be a barad. What do you call barad? Hail, yeah, right. Hail. It's going to be hail, and it's going to be very dangerous. Not a small little balls. It's like a big stone, big rocks. So the one that was the Egyptians that was already afraid was Yereh Hashem, okay? Each one of the Egyptians was frightened from Hashem. He took all his sheep into the house and all his family into the house, and the ones that didn't put the heart, the ones that didn't give the heart, they left everything out in the field, and anyway they died. So what is the difference between one that is afraid of Hashem, aware that Hashem is here in the world? What is the difference between, what is the opposite of it? The one that doesn't have a heart. He doesn't put his heart on the thing. He put his mind, okay. Such a kind of hail, someone come to you today, tomorrow there's going to be hail, look at the sky. Yeah, tomorrow there's going to be hail, big as rocks. So, okay. We heard about you and your stories, have a good day. Yeah? And why? But if you put your heart on it, yesterday there was this problem. The day before, it's already 7 times. This man came over and said very strange things, and they all happened. He put his heart on this issue that I have now. I have to put my heart into it. And put the issue into my heart, We learn Torah of Likutei Moharan. We learn about Tshuva. We learn about when someone is humiliating you, be quiet. Not only be quiet with your mouth, be quiet with your heart. Okay, so you have to do it. I learned it. Wow, it was amazing, and we learned Kabbalah inside, and we learned the name of Hashem, and wow, it was amazing. Okay, what do I do with it now? So it's very good, it's very good that I learned. But what do I do with it now? And like this, if I know that Rabbi Nachman is a chidush, and he is renewing himself every moment, and if I am connected to him, I can renew myself in every moment. So when Rabbi Nachman says that you have to get up at midnight, it's not something new. All the Mekubalim for thousands of years, they say you have to get up at midnight. This is the time. The Vida Melech goes up at midnight every day. What's the chidush about it? So there was one genius guy. It was Litvak, and one time he learned in Breslov Shul. He didn't have one of the books, so he went to the library of the Breslov Shul. He took the book, and he was learning, and suddenly they started davening mincha. And for him it was, I'm never going to daven with Breslov. But he was there already. The time he's going there. He's a Litvak. Okay, so he davened with Breslov. And the Shliach Tzibur goes over the tefillah, and he sees what? He feels the heart of the guy. So he goes over to one of the guys he knew that he's a Talmud Chutz Moses. He says, who's this guy? He says, oh, this is Moshe. He says, okay, Moshe, who is he? He's an installator, plumber. He's a plumber. And really he's a plumber, But he says, no, he gets up at midnight, and he learns whatever he can learn, and he's doing he's davening at the net, and he's resting a little bit, eating a little bit, and then he goes to work. But he's a plumber. All day he's a plumber. He's one of the famous plumbers in Limerick. But he had the heart. Yeah? So he says, this guy, so then he learned the Torah of Breslov, and one time he went over to the Yaakov Meir Shechter, and he learned one of the Torah Chet, he learned and said, he found there 588 subjects out of all the Torah. You know, like we learned Torah Bab. We tried to learn it good. So we found subjects from the Zohar, we found subjects from the Kabbalah, we find other subjects. You know, he found in one Torah 588 different subjects of the Torah. And then he said to someone, you know, he went to one of the Rebbe's of one of the Hasidus. He says to him, you know what's the difference? When all the world is getting out at midnight and doing the Tikkun Chatzos, and they get up 12 o'clock on the clock, they burn a piece of paper, they put it on the ashes, they put it on the head, they sit next to the mezuzah, yeah, and they say the Tikkun to take out the Shechina from the galus. A Breslover guy, 12 is not 12. And to burn a paper and put it on his head, I don't have time for it. To sit next to the mezuzah, he sits wherever he sits. And he says the Tikkun because he put the Shechina in the galus. He doesn't have any idea that he's going to take out the Shechina of the galus. I put the Shechina in the galus. Why? Because I have a feeling for this. I have a feeling for the Shechina. So that, okay, I do it because Rabbeinu Ari said you have to make Tikkun Chatzos to take out the Shechina out of the galus. Okay, so this is what I do. And you can take the Shechina out of the galus. What are you doing? You're putting the Shechina into the galus. You're taking your pure soul, your clean soul, your amazing soul, and you do all kinds of sins in the world. You don't get up on time, you don't say Krishna on time, you don't... the kashrus is like kashrus, and this is like this, and this is like this, and you go to work, and you come back, and all your head is out there, you daven, the guy, looks at his friend davening, and in the middle of the day, he sees his friend take out his pack of cigarettes outside and just like this, and put it back. So he says to him, after the tefillah, he goes to him and says, what happened? So at the time, there was, when you go on the plane, you can smoke on the back seats. People smoke.
Used to be, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. So he said, I have to fly tomorrow, and I was imagining the flight coming, I'm registering, and then she asked me, the woman, she asked me if I'm smoking or not. So I couldn't answer because I'm in the middle of dancing. So I took out the cigarette and showed her. But that's how we look. That's how we look in our tefillah. That's how a tefillah looks. How my tefillah looks, especially, when you go and give a shiur and you speak about tefillah, and everybody looks at you, wow, your tefillah is different. No, my tefillah is just the same. Only what? Only I have that difference, yeah. Because I am connected to Rabbi Nachman, so in the middle of the tefillah, when I find out, just a minute, where am I holding? Yeah? So I stop for this 1 minute, and I said 1 or 2 words with a feeling. So after I know myself that this is the way I'm davening, and this is the way I'm learning, and this is the way I live, I can go out Chatzor and say, I'm taking out the Shechina out of the galus. I'm sorry that I put the Shechina into the galus. That's how I make Chatzor. Who thinks about Chatzor anyway? You're talking, you're putting the Shechina into the who thinks about getting out of Chatz? This is what Rabbi Nachman gave. Rabbi Nachman gave, you are new every moment. Everything is there. And everything is there for you. To get up Chatzor, to go to Hitbodedus, to daven with all your powers, it's there for you. You have to do it. So the guy says, no, it's not for me, I am too old, I'm too lazy, I'm not clever enough. So in Breslau, you don't say, yeah, this is for me. I don't do it. One guy came over to me when I was living in Emmanuel. I forgot it, but he told me this. Then he came over to me, he says to me, oh, where do you daven? He says, I daven net. I said, oh, you daven with me already 2 years, 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, yeah. He says, well, but I belong to the next. I belong to the next. Where I daven now, in the meantime, I don't get up, so I come at 8 o'clock. Well, it's not to daven at all, so I come at 8 o'clock. So after years, when I came back to Davenet, and he came also back to Davenet, he said, oh, I'm here only because of you. I said, why? He says, because you told me that you belong to the net. Yeah? So I said, but this is blessed. I belong to the net. I want to Davenet net. I want to get up at Chatzot. I want to do Tikkun Chatzot. I want to go every month to Uman. So what is the difference? The difference is I don't wipe out from the Torah anything. Everything is there for me. So one time I come from a wedding. I look at mom. Chatzot! Wow! I can do the Tikkun Chatzot! Okay, so I take I sit down, I do Tikkun Chatzot. So once a year I do Tikkun Chatzot. But if you don't think about it, you never do it. If you wipe it, this is not for me, no, I'm not there. If you think I belong to the guys that daven good, that work on the tefillah, so maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 words out of the tefillah, you will say, right, I belong to the guys that work on the Torah. So you come out, you hold the book, you read the Chot Shabbat again. 10 times I read the Chot Shabbat. Do I know something? Do I remember something? Yes. No, I'm not an idiot, I remember something, but I don't know it, But because I learn, and I know you have to learn good, so sometime in the year, one day, 2 days, wow, oh, this is interesting. I'm going into this thing. I have the chance to renew myself. Okay, I tried. I tried to give you the point is I am new every day. I make all the errors. I'm the worst guy in the world. And then when you come to Uman, you see the most craziest people in the world and the most straightest people in the world. You see that, and all what is between also you can see. Why? Because there's the big doctor. In Kupat Cholim, yeah? What do you see? People waiting. But then someone comes, at least, wow. They put him straight into the doctor, go to the hospital. But you're a doctor. Yeah, but I'm a small doctor. Can I help you with small things? You want real help? Go to the hospital. But go to Hadassah, go to a specialist. This is the specialist for the. So there you see all the content, all the broken people, all the finished people, and the ones that knows, I'm okay. They look like they are okay. They know there's some place very high to go. I have much further to go. So they all come. And if we don't have the ability to go to Uman for this reason or for the other reason, the soul of the tzaddik is in his books. So I have to work on it. So try